My name is Caleb Alexander, and with me today, I have Dr. Mario Salas, and I have my brother from another mother, Chris Dawkins. And so, miss it is our dear sister, Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and Sharon, we miss you today. And so today, for Hot Topics, we have some bangers coming at you, folks. And our first one is going to be Turning Point USA. And so Turning Point is taking this Blexit or Black Exit onto HBCU campuses, folks. And they're trying to recruit Black students into MAGA. And so, yeah, what do we think about that, guys? Mario, Chris?
I guess, and of course, somebody may come up with some wild idea, but which I couldn't blame them for doing so. But on this show, we like to call, a spade, a horse, a duck, a duck. So if you're walking like a duck, talking like a duck, if you're walking like a Nazi and talking like a Nazi, that's what you are. That's what you are.
Hey, there you go.
And so this Turning Point has a long history of harassing teachers and professors on college campuses. And it's happening all over Texas, all over the place.
Is this a Turning Point initiative?
Yeah, I think it is a Turning Point initiative.
Yeah, and they're doing a double pronged attack. They're attacking the Super Bowl, by Bad Bunny by having their own concert show, and then they're trying to recruit blacks to MAGA, whatever. and look, anybody supporting MAGA is either ignorant or racist, just one or the other.
Oh yeah, again, it's roaches
or
for both.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
I guess it could be both.
Yeah.
But so this doesn't surprise me that they're trying to do that. And look, I mean, people that don't look at the news, people don't read books, people that are just swayed by somebody else's comments. They're easy pickings.
Yeah, they like to say get off the Democratic plantation. They like to use that charged language, you know what I mean, to kind of get blacks to move. Chris, what are your thoughts?
So help me to understand this. So they go onto these campuses, and the picture that we saw originally, these are actually mega people.
Yeah, so all these are mega. Look, there you go. They got the red hats and everything. Crazy fools.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Going on to HBCUs doing it.
And trying to recruit black.
And rumor has it that a lot of them are being paid money to do it.
Oh, they probably would.
They're not doing it from the heart.
Yeah, they ain't got no.
And some of them can't vote because they're convicted criminals.
Let me ask you this. So, I want to. It's to both of you. So, first from the historical standpoint, right? So, we had a generation, right, who's far removed from the struggles of the civil rights movement,
right,
and a generation who, just let's be honest, we're not teaching black history, let alone black history in schools, right? So they don't understand the Atlantic crossing, they don't understand the slavery and the Jim Crow and a lot of that stuff right here. So are we at that point where we're so far removed from those struggles that this generation has no idea, no concept, or is that why they're easy to co-opt?
I think that there's some point to be made about that. This generation, for sure, and even the one that are coming along, they have no history of Nazism either.
Right.
We're not teaching the horrors of Nazism in school like we should.
Right.
And so you're able to get away with Nazi kinds of activities and policies because there's no current understanding of what Nazism is.
Right.
So, and that point you're making, I think, is along the same lines. When you don't understand your history, maybe you're doomed to repeat it. And so there's a disconnect between people knowing all about Nazism and a disconnect between people knowing about black history and Jim Crow and slavery. And the disconnect, I think, can be really problematic because when people don't understand as a people, what they've been through because of the color of their skin, then any group can come along like this. What are they called?
Blexit.
Blexit?
Turning Point USA and Blexit.
Yeah, then people like that can come along with all kinds of lies.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, isn't that, what's her name?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens?
Yeah.
Is that her?
She's a professional liar.
Yeah, that's her.
Is there such thing as a professional liar? I
Yeah,
guess.
they're called lawyers.
A whole administration full of them.
Oh, I didn't even look
Called lawyers.
professional liars.
Yeah.
That are going around doing all that kind of stuff, saying crazy things. And some of them getting paid to do it too.
Yeah.
They're not doing it from the heart anyway. getting paid to do it. I wouldn't go see her if you gave me 100 free tickets. I'd throw them in the garbage. But because these people they're full of it. They're just full of. Some of them are looking for money too.
Oh yeah.
They're looking for payout. They know Trump has money. Maybe he'll pay off. Maybe he'll pay my electric bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he'll give me a job because I haven't had one since I got out of Leavenworth prison.
But hey Chris, look, from a business standpoint, right? I see these people who feel like, okay, well, I've made a certain amount of money, right? And I have a small business. And so they automatically think that they should switch and become Republicans because they now have a business or they now. And so what is that phenomenon? Where does that come from that thinks that you have to switch and become a Republican or a conservative or disown black identity because you have a business?
One thing before you comment, Chris, is that some of them have been fooled by this idea that Republicans are the good guys because Democrats were the slave owners.
Right.
And what they're doing is equating 1800s political science with 2025.
Yeah.
The Republicans were the liberals during the Civil War.
Right.
The Democrats were the conservatives. After 1930, that completely changed. Right. But they don't want you to know that. They'll the Democrats were the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
Over 150 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. From a business standpoint.
First of all, I would say that you've been, or black folks especially, have been deceived tremendously. The Republicans have done such a great job of being able to, like Mario just said, the things that were in the past, they're putting those on Democrats because it was the Democrats who did it, but it was 150 years ago.
Right.
So these people who are saying now, the other deception is that Trump has come in to make them believe that he's giving them so much money. My taxes are less. This is less or whatever, which is not the case. The problem is, to me, for the majority of the people, is that what you're doing is you're not trying to verify for yourself. Whatever is being said on TV, you're taking that to be true.
Gospel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, do you become a Republican? Do you switch to parties for your business owner?
No.
Are you sure?
I do.
How do you maintain your practice as a business owner?
Look, I'll be very.
Got them chains around his neck.
I'll be very honest. There was a point where I considered it. Okay.
Why?
Because it was a time, I think it was late 80s and so forth. And I just thought that there might be a better opportunity there.
As a Republican?
Well,
you know what, though? Don't feel bad because I've had friends of mine tell me that back in the 80s, as a matter of fact, that black folks needed to have their foot in both parties. So as, to have some presence in both parties. But now, you can't have your foot over there in that white supremacist
well,
party.
let me say this. I don't. Either one of you listen to Karen Hunter?
But before that, hold on, we need to go. The 80s, that was Reaganomics, buddy. So you were going to switch during the Reagan era?
That was when I think things were beginning to change toward, I think at that time, Newt Gingrich was in office, different things like that. There were certain things that were happening, and the surge to me started at that time through Reaganomics and through Newt Gingrich. It started at that time because when Newt Gingrich wrote the Contract with America or something like that.
A little bit later, that came a little bit later.
It did?
Yeah, that was a little bit later. But he wasn't in the House during Reagan. So he was. But that Contract with America and all that came a little bit later. But so you had
was he circumcised?
Who? I don't know. That's why he might have autism.
No.
We don't know.
Or he was taking Tylenol back then.
So you had that. So no, just try to understand this black conservative mindset of business, right? So I'm a business, so I need to switch now. I need to become a Republican or whatever it is. So that's
and even switching is not going to guarantee you anything.
No.
Right.
And that's that again. If we were ever to believe what Malcolm X said, you've been hoodwinked and bamboozled. This is the time because you definitely, they definitely have been hoodwinked and bamboozled. But again, I go back to those people who are looking at these things. they don't want to look into the issues themselves.
Right.
They look at TV and they let the pundits tell them whatever it is that they think, and they adopt that.
Right. Mario, you on the campus. What do you do? You have this young black kid. What do you tell young black men or who are listening to this message? Like, what's a competing message?
Well, to be quite honest, I haven't ran into any of them that follow Trump or believe anything he has to say. I know they're out there, but I haven't ran into any of them. Majority of black students I run into, even at the high school level that I run into, they don't like Trump for 1 second. And I haven't just ran into any. And that's why some of this stuff is being blown out of proportion, in my opinion.
Okay.
They're exaggerating. They show pictures with a bunch of blacks and you know, with T-shirts on, Black for Trump. And remember when that first started, Blacks for Trump, one of them exposed himself. He said, "Well, I got $10
to wear the T-shirt.
for putting on the shirt. I don't even know what this is about."
So look, I want to go back to something that was that you said, especially Mario, earlier, and you were saying that the young folks now don't know anything or very little about our history, okay? Which I would probably agree with. So if that is the case, would it be our generation who did not actively teach them to be able to know about that?
Well, you know, here's one caveat to that, though. When you live in a society that's very racist, even if you don't know who Nat Turner is or Harriet Tubman, you still are affected by that color problem.
Right.
And that, because racism is so prolific and permeates all of society, you're still going to have people who may not know much about their history, but they know enough about being treated badly on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And so that ain't something you can erase. When you're on your way to school and you get stopped by driving while black.
Yeah. As a black parent, a black kid, you know, you've already had to talk with your parents.
Oh,
so
wow.
You already know what it is.
I spoke at a high school one day with all black students for the most part. I asked them, raise your hand if you had any problems with racism or being treated badly because of the color of your skin. The whole class raised their hand.
Oh, yeah.
But they couldn't tell you nothing about Harriet Tubman.
Right.
But they had this spirit in them. This society is messed up.
But this is why I want to ask. I was with a group last week, and a young man said, well, kind of what you were saying, we don't know because the generation that you're in let us down.
They ain't gonna blame it on me. I didn't teach. We didn't teach them.
Right.
You're right. But like Mario said, look, whether we sit there and talk to you or told you about it, you're not unaware.
But
you know
here was the thing.
The society is going to make you aware whether you want to be or not.
Here's the thing. It kind of pissed John Sanders off because he was there. And John said, well, man, how many 5-star hotels have you not been able to go into? He says, how many 5-star restaurants or whatever that you haven't been able to go into?
Right.
He said, we did that to be able to get those things to happen for you. When you talk about there's nothing that's been done,
right.
You know, all of these things that have been done,
right.
You know, was done by a previous generation.
Right.
And you're sitting here telling me that, you know, the generation let you down. I thought it was interesting because regardless of whether it was true or not, it gave a different perspective from the younger folks and what they thought.
Right.
And I don't know how we get to this point, but it seems like every time, whether it's Democrats or whether it's black folks, our messaging is always bad. And we don't get the messaging to the folks for them to understand either what has been done, how we respond to those things, none of that. So we, again, back to what I said earlier, we get hoodwinked and bamboozled.
Yeah, but even with the bamboozling going on, there's a lot of it. I agree with that. Even with that going on, there's always something that slaps you upside the head to make you realize you live in a racist society.
Right.
And I mean, think about all the people who accepted slavery back then. Just kind of went along with it because they saw no way out of it. But also think about all the ones who were poisoning their slave master when he was asleep
Yeah.
you know, or hitting him in the head with a machete.
Or all kind of acts of resistance, right?
Yeah,
Breaking the plows, breaking this,
Breaking the
that.
plows,
Yeah.
slowing the work up,
Yeah. So there
putting
were always acts of
putting rocks
resistance.
in your cotton bag
Yeah.
so it weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah.
There was always some kind of resistance.
There was.
Even if it wasn't that out in the open.
There was.
And even now, because of the way society has been treated, because of police brutality, because of all this other stuff,
Yeah.
even if you don't know who Frederick Douglass is, if you don't know a single speech that he made, but yet you were harassed because you were standing on the street corner,
Yeah.
minding your own business,
Yeah.
and harassed, you've got a level of consciousness
Yeah.
because of your skin color.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's a racist society. Racism inadvertently winds up destroying itself eventually, I think, by making people more radical or more opposed to how they're being treated in general.
Yeah. So
You're going to become a leftist just because of your skin color. You know?
So racism is not the shark in the water; it's the water. it's all around you, so you can't avoid it. And so So and one of the biggest acts of resistance that a slave could perform was reading and becoming literate. And even today, that's one of the biggest acts of resistance that you could perform on your own, is educating yourself and becoming self-aware. And so with that being said, we're going to, that's a big topic. It's a great topic. You guys we engaged on that one.
Going all night with it.
So we could, potentially. So we're going to move on to the next topic. And so the South Carolina judge's home, we're going to say burned down, right? That's
right.
what we're going to put quotations around that. Because some people were saying it was an explosion.
Yeah.
It was an explosion, right? So this judge, it was the judge that ruled against Trump.
Correct.
What, on the National Guard thing, I think?
Was it on the National Guard?
I don't remember what the issue
It
was.
was a ruling against Trump.
It was a ruling against Trump, and all of a sudden the judge's house burned down or exploded, and so was her husband was injured in the. I know there was some.
No, I don't think either one of them were at home. I think it was a beach house.
I thought somebody was injured in that explosion.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't,
But
I don't remember offhand.
You remember- okay,
But
so
the
what was-
jury is still out as to how this fire started.
Right.
Correct?
Kind of.
Oh, I think it was set on fire.
Yeah.
You know, they want to say it was an explosion, but it was.
Oh, they want to hold, or they know that and they want to hold on to that for a
Right.
while.
Right.
Well, hell, the 16th Street Baptist Church was an explosion. So just because it was an explosion doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Because we know
It might have been a leaky gas pipe.
We know they know how to use dynamite. You know, so this explosion. All the other houses in the neighborhood were okay, except for the judge who ruled against Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if it was a gas line or gas pipeline, that's interesting. When it didn't
Maybe it was
affect
the brown shirts, the red shirts, or the red hats had something to do with it, for all we know.
Yeah. So, Chris, any comments on that
Or
one?
guys taking
No, I don't. You know,
guys taking Tylenol
Yeah.
or something.
I just think it's a shame that we have gotten to a point to where what is true or our legal system that we go through, all of these people are, it's like Pam Bondi's talking, in front of Congress, and she wouldn't answer any questions, and she's telling the other people that the other senators that they're crazy, and Mr. Trump is the best thing. I don't get it from the standpoint when you talk about this house being set on fire.
Right.
If you don't agree with them, then they want to do something bad to you.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
violence.
Yeah. They don't believe in freedom of speech unless it's them.
Correct.
Freedom of
Yeah, it's
speech.
them. They have freedom of speech for themselves. But anybody else expressing freedom of speech, like Turning Point is a racist organization,
Right.
they get mad about that.
Right.
Right.
When you could prove that somebody's a racist by looking at their historical record about what they said.
And I've had people send me stuff about Charlie Kirk, and they were religious, and Charlie Kirk talking about, how religious he was and how good of a Christian he was. And I send it back to them and say, bullshit.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, just from a historical standpoint. I'm gonna bring you in on the historical standpoint. Has there ever been a time in this country where what we call the left has used political violence because of a ruling that they didn't like?
Yeah, well, you have to go back. I might have to go back to the Vietnam War, but I would go back further than that to the Wobblies,
Okay.
which was a union movement, International Workers of the World, IWW 1900s,
Uh-huh.
early 1920 or something. They threw bombs. They made
The
homemade
Wobblies.
wobblies. They made homemade bombs when they would go on strike. They mostly self-defense stuff. They'd go on strike. Then the goons would come out there with nightsticks and start beating them up, and then they started making bombs and taking it back to them. So yeah, there's been times when that has happened on a big scale. But more recent times, no.
No.
No, the left doesn't normally do that kind of stuff. And that whole thing about Antifa, what does that mean?
Let's talk about Antifa.
That's anybody that's against fascism.
Anybody against fascism. So it's not and please tell them, Antifa is not an official organization.
No, it's not. It's just anybody that's against the Nazis.
Right. So your grandparents who fought in World War II were Antifa.
Well, my father was Antifa. He fought against the Nazis.
Against the Nazis, right.
Yeah, so he's Antifa.
Right.
Eisenhower was Antifa.
Patton was Antifa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would they invent these categories of people? If somebody carrying, all we have to do is, I guess maybe we'll make a flag next week or something and say we're bolitas, and then then we'll define what that means. That we whip people with bolo bats or whatever, and then once we define that, then all we got to do is broadcast it, and then you'll have a whole slew of people believing that's what bolitas are.
Bolitas, yeah.
That's the game they play.
Yeah.
They tell lie after
Good point,
lie.
Mario. We might need to do that.
The Bolifas.
Bolitas, they're using bolos.
Yeah.
And like the cops used to wrap around your ankles.
So we're at a level of political violence right now, right? We're seeing this expansion, and again, we have after Charlie Kirk's assassination, we had two young men who.
I don't like calling it an assassination, but go ahead.
Two young men who were hung, right?
Yes.
One of the black young men who were hung, which is now it's been through the autopsy. It was not a suicide. He was murdered right after the killing of Charlie Kirk, right?
Right.
So where we're at right now in this country with this level of political violence, and are we seeing this? We're clearly it's escalating, right?
Yeah. They don't want to tell the community that most of this violence is from the right wing. It's not from the left.
Right.
The guy that shot Charlie Kirk associated with the right wing.
Right wing.
But they want to tell you it's from the right. But they want to tell you it's from the right.
No, they tried to make it look like he's somebody
the left,
else.
from the left.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they try to blame the trans community and every other community.
Whatever lie is convenient.
Right. So Chris, how do we walk that back? Do you foresee it getting worse, or do you foresee a pause, or do you foresee any time in the near future where we can begin to walk back political violence?
I think what's really getting ready to come up with the trials. Unfortunately, they're going to take such a long time to probably get into court. But I think if we have to wait that long, that might be the time when we can find out which direction this country is going to go. Because if they throw those cases out relatively quickly, then it looks like we have a chance. But if they don't throw those cases out, it looks like a lot of other stuff is in play, and there may not be an election, and there's all kind of stuff that may happen that we're going to be subjected to.
Mario, I want you to pull out your crystal ball. All right. Let's say by some miracle, God sends down an election in 2026, right? And we have an election in 2026, and the Dems, of course, take back the House and the Senate. Let's pull out your crystal ball. What does that look like as far as political violence, what we're talking about now?
Well, I would say it might get worse, not from the left, from the right.
From the right.
Because now they've lost control of the House.
Right.
It also may prompt the president to declare he's not leaving office.
Okay.
In order to yeast up the violence.
Right.
And all he has to do is say something that implies violence, and some knucklehead will go out and carry it out. So I don't know. That's what my crystal ball tells me, that things will get worse. He'll get more venomous. He'll get more abrasive. I don't know if anybody could create any more lies than he's already created. But to me, things will get worse. And they might start a war to diffuse the situation, to distract from losing the House, and then get into an argument with the Congress about we need to declare war.
Right.
So that
Well,
would
let
be
me
the
ask you
perfect
this.
setup.
Do they go after him,
After who?
Trump?
Who's
Democrats get the House and the Senate back.
Yeah,
They go after him.
they're gonna impeach you.
They're going to impeach him.
Yeah.
Let's list it.
I-
How many political? How many impeachment level offenses do we have? Are we counting?
I think they file articles of impeachment, and if they win the Senate, it's confirmed in the Senate.
Right.
It has to be done in both places.
Right.
And then he refuses to leave.
Well, here's what happens: the House brings the charges.
Right.
The Senate
Holds the trial.
holds the trial.
Right. So right now the margin in the House is razor thin still.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I want to talk about.
All right, come on.
As I don't know if you have been following or no, but Hakeem Jeffrey says, as Democrats at the House, we are willing, with the government shutdown, we are willing to do a one-off bill that would pay the military
Right.
during this time.
That's coming up.
But oh, it is.
That's our topic coming up. We got
Okay.
that coming up.
Okay, so I'll hold on. I'll hold
Let's see. Yeah. So that's matter of fact, that's topic number 3.
on. Okay.
So we'll close this one out.
All right.
So
Let's go to that, though.
we see impeachment and we see political violence getting worse
From the right wing.
from the right. Okay. So now we move it on, Chris. No furlough back pay is how we started off, right? So we'll
Okay.
start off no furlough. Well, we're not. We're already on the military. So we'll go on the military, then we'll move to the general topic of no furlough back pay, okay? So military.
So my point to finish that statement is that Hakeem Jeffrey said we're willing to come back in and to vote a one-off one bill.
Right.
Don't put nothing else in it. We're just going to pay the military, and they get paid while the government is shut down.
Right.
Mike Johnson?
Mike Johnson.
Does not want to do that.
The Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House does not want to do that
Right.
because should he do that, he has to call the House back into session.
Right.
If he calls,
Which means he may have to ratify that congresswoman
He has
who
to
won the
swear in.
election.
that's what I'm
out
getting,
of Arizona.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. So
Uh-oh.
that's why he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
Is because what Hakeem Jeffries is saying, he can keep her at bay as long as the House is not in session.
Right.
But if he brings the House back into session, he then has to swear her in.
Right.
If he swears her in, that gives the power to the Democrats. And Hakeem Jeffries says the first thing we're going to do is ask for the Epstein file.
Right.
That's right. That's why
That's why he's doing
Mike Johnson, boy, he is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible man.
Oh yeah.
Just
why he's not doing it.
disgusting. Like Trump would say, disgusting, nasty fella. He's just plain nasty.
So he's willing to let the military go without pay in order to protect Trump from the Epstein files.
Correct.
Is basically what's going on.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
where we're at.
Yeah.
So let's now we've talked about, let's move on to the general furlough, right? No, Trump has said he's not going to pay government workers, right? That they don't deserve government pay, and they don't deserve government back pay. Now this is a standoff that he created, and let's be clear, right? The Democrats are saying, look, we'll go along with this. We want one provision: you protect health care. That's what they're asking for.
But
Let's
wait
be
a minute.
clear. The Democrats are asking to protect health care for the American people.
But let's
That's it.
let's be clear on this. This comes back to what we were talking about, messaging. There's nothing that the administration can do at this point to prevent the people from getting paid their back pay once they come back. Because there's already been a bill that's been passed in Congress that says if they have been furloughed or if they have been unduly set aside, I'll use that word, because of the government shutdown, they do get paid.
But Trump today, a couple of days ago, is permanently taking the people that they furloughed and now firing
Fire,
them.
right?
But he can't. I'm saying, I don't know. He might be able to fire them,
The
but they're
firing
still going to
has
get paid
The firing has begun and he's
because
firing-
he would have to go. Again, they'd have to bring the House and other people back into session to be able to prevent that from happening as
Right.
far as them getting paid.
But they won't be paid only for the time that,
Correct.
yeah.
So they're firing, but he's firing people from programs that the Democrats favor.
Right.
That's the other thing. So he's firing people either who are from Democratic states or who are in programs that that were instituted or favored by the Democrats.
and cutting the medical stuff, unfortunately for Trump, in areas that are Republican based, but many of those people on Medicaid and Medicare.
Gonna hurt them very.
And that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of
Right.
she jumped ship.
Right.
Yeah.
She's against what Trump is doing now.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Where is
Yeah.
she from?
Ain't she Arizona?
Carolina? I thought it was
somewhere?
Carolina.
Oh, okay, she's from there. She's from the South.
I thought it was one of the Carolinas.
Oh, she might be. I'm wrong. I might
Okay.
be wrong.
Well, let's look it up.
I might be wrong.
Keep talking. I'll look that up.
No. So yeah, no, but yeah, she jumped ship a few times against this administration. She's one of the 4 Republican votes to release the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she met with those women. She made a statement. She ain't changing her vote. Because right now they're trying to lobby those 4 Republicans to actually change their vote.
Right.
And so that's what he's doing. He's buying time
Right.
in order to put pressure on them to change the vote. She's not changing her vote.
Well, I think it's come to a time, especially because of these. Wasn't there a lady that also won the seat from
Georgia.
Georgia? Okay.
Marjorie
Well,
Taylor
well,
Greene,
She's
Georgia.
from Georgia? Okay.
Wasn't there a lady that won Sylvester Turner's place in Houston? Has she been sworn in yet?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay. But nobody talks about her.
Right.
I don't know.
But I don't think
I haven't
because
kept
I
up
don't
with
think
the-
I don't think they're even held. I think the issue is Abbott doesn't even want to call that election. That's what it is. Abbott doesn't even want to call call for the election for her. So she hasn't even won.
He can't appoint somebody?
Yeah, he can. That's what he's fooling around with.
That's the problem. That is the issue right there.
Well, if he could appoint somebody, it seemed like he would appoint somebody already.
Well, yeah, but he probably knows he appoints the wrong one. They can't win. Houston. I mean, you're talking a
Oh, you mean
Democratic Party stronghold.
in an actual election?
Yeah.
So I appoint you, but you got to run for the election, and you can't win.
Yeah.
You know, that goes back to a point that you had asked earlier, or something that Mario talked about the Democrats and Republicans and what Democrats were doing 150 years ago. They were actually kind of like the Republican Party is today.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I forgot.
You forgot what you was going to say?
Yeah.
You've been taking Tylenol, I'm telling you. That's that Tylenol thing.
That's the Tylenol.
Plus, you've been circumcised on top of that.
Yeah, at the time. So we can move on to number 4, right? So it's sad. They're not going to get their back pay. They don't want to call the Congress into session because they don't want. He'd rather protect Trump and the Epstein file than
Right.
to pay our servicemen and women. It's BS, folks. The Democrats are not trying to give illegal immigrants health care. They can't get it. They couldn't get it. They could never get it. They need all kinds of ID, Social Security cards, so they don't qualify for Obamacare.
No, the only thing they could get is like cities will allow for someone
Emergency
care. You're
Right.
not going to stay in the hospital.
Right.
So the county.
Yeah, that's
Through a county.
Yeah, that's it.
You're poor, and that applies to
Everybody.
Everybody who doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
A homeless guy needs to be treated. Well, the county picks up the tab. For
Yeah,
it.
you have to be treated. You cannot refuse to treat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they-
It might
Right.
change that.
Yeah. Well, again, I say what I said last week. That's a violation of human rights.
Everything's a
You have-
violation.
hell, you have to treat your enemy. If you have an enemy combatant there and he's still alive, you have to.
You gotta treat him.
You have to treat him.
Or there's no such thing as a Hippocratic oath.
Right. Right.
And it violates the Geneva Convention. You
Right.
have to give medical services to people who just try to kill you, to your enemy.
And that's why a lot of police officers, they're good police officers, they shoot somebody, they immediately
Yeah.
get the EMS on the phone.
Yeah.
And if they can stop the bleeding, they'll make an attempt
Yeah.
to do it,
Yeah, they have to.
even though they shot you.
Yeah,
That's just a human thing to do.
yeah.
I had to shoot him because he was trying to hurt me, but now I'm going to try to save his
Now I'm
life.
gonna try to save him. Yeah,
Because we have him in custody.
yeah. I just had to stop him. You know what I mean? And now I've stopped him. I have a duty to save him.
That's what a decent human being will do.
Yeah,
Not a proud boy.
yeah.
Not a problem.
So hot topic number 4, folks. Trump threatens Chicago mayor and Illinois governor, J.B. Pritzker. And so this is worrisome because he has repeated, whenever he says, you know what, I think this person should be indicted. I think this person should go to jail. Of course, his Justice Department says, yes, sir. And they indict whoever he wants to indict. Comey, Letitia James, soon to John Bolton. And so he's now calling for the indictment. And so, and the other thing is too, fortunately, these people have protection, right? The Chicago mayor has the Chicago police protecting them, and the governor has the state, state police protection of the state police. But that still may not prevent an attempt or an assassination. You know what I mean? And so he's very dangerous with his words.
Right.
And then when you have the entire apparatus of the federal government, and you're directing who what I mean, this enemies list. This person needs to be arrested. This person needs to be indicted. So I mean, we're in a dangerous zone. And so I'll let Chris take it from there. This call for the arrest.
I just think that, first of all, about Chicago, I think we're in a very tight situation, and how the Chicagoans handle this situation is going to be very telling. Normally, Chicagoans would be very rebellious and want to do something which would allow Trump to come in and probably do what Mario talked about, their bolo, put the bolo on him. But the reality from my standpoint is, if they can remain cool and deal with the situation the way they need to deal with it, they may be more effective than if they go out and do something crazy.
Yeah, so it reminds me of the Vietnam War. When people on the left wanted to get violent because they were being subjected to violence. But then somebody came up, and I got to give them credit for this. The flower people came up with the idea, let's just buy about 100 million roses, and when the guard shows up to beat us up, let's offer them a flower. And they were like taken aback by that.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not here to hurt you. The propaganda says that.
Right.
We're just exercising our right to protest.
I want to deviate.
So maybe we need to get some flowers out
from what we're talking about, because
maybe we need a 1 million man march in Chicago with flowers.
What you're saying, I think, is very important. As we look at the Martin Luther King nonviolence type of stuff, you're looking at the love and flower people from the 60s and whatever. They were kind of nonviolent. They served the roses and the different things like that. As we move into today, we don't see any really quote unquote nonviolence. We may see no violence or no action taken, but I think that those strategies ended up working very well, and nobody really talks about that.
I'd love to see a guy take a flower and put it in the barrel of one of those ICE agents' guns.
Oh, he'd shoot him.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But that would be the point. To show the violence is coming from them.
Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah. But those who don't know it, those who don't know it would get it right away.
Hey, I nominate you to take that chance. We'll get the flower.
During the Vietnam War, I remember a lady putting a flower in. A guy had a bayonet, everything
And
loaded.
put the flower in the
flower
gun
right in there.
Iconic.
And he
picture.
kind of didn't know what to do. It just caught him off guard.
Different time of day.
Different folks.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember this, but because I'm from Ohio and Columbus, Ohio especially, that's where the National Guard was
the Kent
called.
State Massacre. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
They massacred.
That's where they were called in. And that was the first time that I know that the National Guard or anybody actually did violence against the
Peaceful protest.
right.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to learn, again, I keep saying I think they're going to learn their lesson. First time they order guardsmen to open fire on a civilian population. Look at the movie Civil War. Have you seen the movie Civil War? You seen the movie Civil War? First time you see they order military to shoot mother, father, son, coach, pastor. I think that'll be the end of this administration. But quick, we can wrap this. But I want to say one thing. So I was watching John Oliver Sunday night. He showed a video. You watch John Oliver?
No.
You watch John Oliver?
When I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Okay. So he showed he was talking about ICE, right? So he showed it was an older black woman, and they interviewed her and they asked her, what was she doing? She says, well, ICE is out here these men out here working on the roof. They're not bothering anybody. ICE is bothering them. So I'm going to bother ICE. And so I want to say this about my sisters, right? That woman could have been anywhere. She could have been at home. She could have been comfortable. black
What'd she
women,
do?
black
Tell us what she
women,
did.
black. She was there. She showed up to protest when she didn't have to. You know what I mean? And so just black women
Okay.
from the dawn of time. You know what I mean? I have to say this to
They
my
known for
sisters.
doing that.
They there. They show up. You showing up for us all the time. You know, I mean, whether it was the slave cabin, mending the black men's backs, or whether it was hell, it through the ancient time when you had the sisters who stopped Alexander the Great,
Black Lives Matter
or
movement.
who stopped the Portuguese who went to war, Nzinga who went to war, or even in Haiti, the sisters who started the Haitian Revolution.
Marie Genet.
Right. And so you always showing up. The backbone of the civil rights movement.
Yep.
You know what I
Ella
mean?
Baker.
All
Fannie
of
Lou
them.
Hamer.
All of them.
Angela Davis.
Yeah. Took to the streets when Malcolm Brown was killed. Took to the streets with George Floyd.
One of the Black Panther Party chapters in Southern California was mostly all women.
Mostly all women.
Yeah.
My sisters, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like-
So yeah, we got to show love to the sisters who always show up, no matter what. Always have our backs, and just let you know, black men love you to death, and we recognize you, we see you, and we see your power, and yeah, man, we got to give it up to the sisters.
Let me say this. Both of you know, but the audience I don't think knows, is that I had a recent trip to Costa Rica. And as a black man in America, I was thinking about leaving America and moving to Costa Rica. But the reason why I really could not live in Costa Rica is, number one, I learned a lot about myself. I understood that I love black women, and there wasn't enough black women there for me. So Chris had to come back. Okay.
You stop taking them Tylenols, you might have found some.
So look, that was we love you to death, and don't let nobody ever tell you. You walk in power. We love what you do. You keep being strong. You keep holding it down. You the mothers of the earth. You gave birth to all humanity. You're the queens, and we love you to death. So we're going to close it out. I'm going to let Brother Chris, you want to close it out? And then we'll go to Brother Mario.
All I can say is that we're facing some very troubled times, and everybody, all hands need to be on deck. Even those people who haven't voted, I want them to be and get engaged. You don't understand what's really coming down with that beautiful bill that Trump called, which is the nasty bill, is going to go into effect partially next year, 2026, January of 2026. And you won't be eligible for maybe health care. And that is the main reason why you've got the government shut down. The Democrats had no way to protest for you, the people that they represent, other than doing it this way. So I hope that you understand and get involved, and at least understand and get involved in a group, and maybe attend the No Kings march on
18.
on the 18th.
18.
Thank you.
All right, Brother Mario.
Real quick, if you're being threatened in any way on your job by any group, whether it be neo-Nazis, Turning Point, or whatever group it might be doing that, take them to court. You can sue them for slander, libel, file a lawsuit against them, cause them some money, and don't take it lying down. If you get terminated or someone threatens to terminate your position, the only way to win that war is to fight back. And sometimes you fight back, you do it the legal way. Sometimes you fight back in a civil court as opposed to a criminal court. But you have to fight back and let them know there's a consequence they have to pay for telling lies and threatening your economic income.
All right. I think I just say guns and passports. No, I'm not gonna say it. But no, I think my closing statement is, look, we've been through dark times before as a people, and we've always gotten through it. We've always survived, but we survived by leaning on each other. We've survived through unity. So you know what? Hey, love on one another. That's how we get through this. Keep through unity, love on one another, support one another, and we'll get through these dark times together again. And so, yeah, we just have to. It's about our unity. It's about our coming together, and we'll make it through this as well.
And watch those Tylenols.
Yeah, no Tylenols. And so this has been Contemporary Black Voices Hot Topic Edition. And so we do want to thank you for joining us today, folks. Please leave your comments, any kind of questions, comments, remarks. We do check them. Mario's gonna get on you. Chris is gonna check them. Dr. Sharon is gonna check them. We miss you, Sharon, and we can't wait to see you next week and the week after. And again, we want to thank our brother Carl Booker for putting on this show. And again, check out the newspaper, Black Life Texas, and you can. It's online. It's in the stores, HEB, and a variety of other locations. You can check them out in the churches, the libraries, and so definitely check out Black Life Texas. Support it. We have Black Worship coming up on the 20th. So we do have Black Worship coming up. And again, if you need to advertise, you want to reach the African American community in San Antonio, you have any kind of products or anything like that, this is the way to reach them, through Black Life Texas. And so definitely check out the newspaper. And again, it's available online. And so again, we want to thank you for joining us today. This has been Hot Topics, Contemporary Black Voices, and signing off, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Black Life Texas News Magazine, your go-to source for informative, creative, and engaging
We ought
news.
to open the show
With
with everybody
85
doing
convenient
that.
locations throughout San Antonio, Black Life Texas News Magazine brings you the latest updates on politics, social justice, culture, entertainment, and more. From thought-provoking articles to inspiring profiles, we cover the topics that matter most to you. Don't miss another copy. Subscribe today for convenient home delivery. Black Life Texas.